the funny thing about when Ryan asked me to direct this movie is that he assumed I would say no. I was so instantly stoked. I don't know how else to put it. Like, I was a Deadpool fan and a Marvel fan long before I met Ryan Reynolds. And so I was thrilled. I was flattered because I know what these movies mean to Ryan. And the fact that he was saying he'd only do it if I did it with him, I know the respect that is embedded in that request. And I was instantly excited to take on this challenge, which I knew would be big, but I also knew would be an opportunity to do something different. Here's the thing. Everyone assumes that we were sitting there crafting this team up between Deadpool and Wolverine, but we didn't have Wolverine. When we started off, and for months, for like 5 months, we tried to come up with a story for this movie. But remember, Wolverine was retired. Hugh Jackman had hung up the claws after Logan. And so we spent months with our fellow writers trying to come up with a story that felt worth making, and not just a repeat of Deadpool 1 and 2. Deserving of the MCU, because it's the first Deadpool movie in the MCU, but also grounded and rooted in character as a Deadpool movie. And we weren't cracking it. We were failing. And we were going to tell Kevin Feige, you know what? It's not happening. Let's punt a year or two. Ryan and I will go do something else. We'll come back to this. And on that day that we were going to tell Kevin Feige, Hugh Jackman called. And instantly, the movie had a reason to exist. When you're directing Ryan and Hugh in this movie, when I was directing Ryan and Hugh in this movie, and I'll never stop feeling fortunate that I got to be the one to get this pairing, you're getting 2 layers of a gift. One is you're directing Hugh and Ryan, who are humble, talented, hardworking pros. So just getting to direct these 2 movie stars who have, peerless work ethic and professionalism, that was a gift. But you're also directing Deadpool and Wolverine. You're crafting scenes with icons. And the thrill of that was never lost on me. Even by month 3, month 4, I still bounced to work because I got to see legends come to life. Before we had Wolverine in the movie, we knew that Deadpool's chosen family was imperative. Blind Al and Vanessa and Dopinder and Yukio and NTW and even Shatterstar and even Buck. We knew that those earthbound, real-world characters were a huge part of the DNA of the Deadpool franchise. They are as close as Wade has to family, and they mean the most to him. So bringing them back and shooting those scenes where I felt a bit like I was hosting a family reunion, because these are all actors who worked together since Deadpool 1, long before Deadpool was a thing. And they've all been on this wild ride together. And I just kind of sat back and watched the reunion happen and tried to capture in my movie some of the warmth and connection I was seeing on set. Well, I think that people talk about superhero fatigue, and I'm not sure I subscribe to that, but I do think there's CGI fatigue. And I think that's not limited to Marvel. That's in movies in general. We, as an audience, can feel the difference when something is created artificially and in post-production versus something that's baked in and real. And Wolverine is a real-world character. Deadpool is a real-world character. They don't come from outer space. They don't fly or have magic powers. And so the movie needed to be true to that authentic analog quality of these 2 anti-heroes. And so that meant we're not going to film on green screen. We're not going to shoot this whole movie on a soundstage like so many contemporary movies and other Marvel movies have done. We're going to go in the world. We're going to build real sets. We're probably going to get photographed by paparazzi, but that's okay. Like, it's not ideal, but it's worth it because we're going to give audiences a movie that feels gritty and real, and that's what we've done. Yeah, I mean, the music in every movie has 2 dimensions always. There's what we call needle drops, which is songs, and score. For score, we hired Rob Simonson, who did the Atom Project for Ryan and I, and who also did things like Darren Aronofsky films and Age of Adeline and Spectacular Now. all over the place, sort of like my filmography. I like someone who is nimble, who doesn't just do one thing or something predictable. And Rob wanted to do, I really tasked him with, there's no Deadpool anthem. I've seen both Deadpool movies many, many times. I couldn't hum the Deadpool theme to you. So it started with Rob writing a Deadpool theme that we've now titled LFG that is contemporary and has a blend of electronic and weird-ass sound effects that Rob created and heavy emotional orchestra, all combined for a theme and an anthem, really, that hasn't existed in the Deadpool franchise, but now very much does. Another thing that was fun for Rob Simonson and I is this movie is about legacy. And there are nods, and in fact, there are tributes paid to the history of Logan, to the history of the MCU, to the Avengers. So the score at various points integrates melodic themes from those other franchises. So you'll hear the piano Logan theme from James Mangold's movie. You'll hear Alan Silvestri's Avengers theme laced in certain points. And so pulling in those themes that are legacy themes in a movie that is about legacy, that was very fun. The movie is as relentlessly, subversively fun as we want and expect. But I think that fans can look forward to something a little more unexpected, which is, yeah, you're going to laugh your ass off. Yes, you're going to cheer at the sick action. But this story of Deadpool and Wolverine is ultimately one of connection. It's one of friendship and eventually of redemption. And so the movie delivers on the fun and the funny, but I think it also delivers on these characters and on heart. And I think that's another part of what people can expect. My hope is that audiences feel that we've delivered a movie built for their delight. I don't work for myself. If I wanted to work for myself, I'd write poetry or I would paint alone in my room. I work for the audience. I make movies for the audience. And so my hope is that this movie satisfies this hunger we've all had for decades to see these two iconic Marvel anti-heroes together on an adventure for the first time ever. And hopefully we've satisfied that hunger, and hopefully we've done more than deliver. Hopefully we've over-delivered, because I know the expectations are big, but our expectations of ourselves as a filmmaking team were even bigger.